hours of BTS arriving at El Paso, Texas for their next stop. And suddenly, what should have been a routine landing turned into a moment that felt larger than life. The sky over El Paso had barely settled when whispers began spreading. Something big was happening, not just another flight. Not just another arrival. This was BTS, 7 global icons moving like a force of nature across cities, carrying with them not just music, but an entire world of anticipation. And this time, they didn't arrive quietly. The private jet sliced through the Texas sky, sleek, controlled, almost cinematic in its descent. On board, nearly 300 people, not just the members, but an entire ecosystem. Crew members, stylists, security, production staff, dancers, every single person who helps transform a concert into a spectacle. Think about that for a second. 300 people moving together across states, across time zones, all for one purpose: to create a night fans will never forget. That's not a tour. That's a traveling universe. As the aircraft touched down at a private airport, the atmosphere shifted instantly. This was tea at a public terminal. No chaos of commercial crowds. No random passers-by. Just a controlled, almost surreal environment where every movement felt intentional. But even then, the energy was undeniable because word had already spread. Fans had gathered at a distance, hoping for just a glimpse, a shadow, a wave, anything. Phones ready, hearts racing, eyes fixed on the runway like it was a stage of its own. And then the doors opened, one by one. The members began to emerge. No flashing stage lights, no choreography, just their presence. And somehow that was enough to electrify the moment. There's something fascinating about seeing artists like this off stage. Without the performance, without the music, you start to notice the small things, the way they walk, the way they look around, the way they acknowledge the people waiting, even from afar. It's quieter, but somehow more powerful, because this is where reality meets the image people have built in their minds. And for many fans, this was that moment. In a moment where they are really here, hits differently. Security moved quickly, efficiently. This level of operation is casual. With nearly 300 people involved, timing becomes everything. Every second counts. Every movement is planned. But even within that structure, there is always unpredictability. Fans cheering louder than expected. A member pausing just a second longer to glance, a wave, a subtle smile. In those tiny moments, they are the ones that go viral because they feel real. And then there's the scale of it all. Let's talk about that private jet again, because it's not just about luxury. It's about logistics. Moving BTS is like moving a typical artist. It's like relocating an entire production city. Equipment, outfits, technical setups, backup systems, everything has to travel seamlessly because the next show depends on it. There's no room for error. And yet, despite the pressure, despite the complexity, they make it look effortless. That's part of the illusion. The audience sees the performance. But moments like this arrival in El Paso, reveal the machinery behind it, and somehow that makes everything even more impressive. But here is where things get even more interesting. El Paso is just another stop. It's a city that sits at a cultural crossroads, a place where different worlds meet. And when BTS arrives here, it's not just a concert, it's a collision of global and local energy. Fans from different backgrounds, different stories, all coming together for one shared experience. That's the power they carry, and you could already feel it building even before the first note of the concert had been played. Hotels preparing, staff coordinating, fans planning outfits, banners, chants. It's like a chain reaction. One arrival triggering thousands of moments yet to happen. And at the center of it all, 7 individuals who somehow balance being global superstars and deeply human at the same time. Because behind the private jet, behind the Beyond Cheers, there's still something simple driving all of this. Connection. That's why fans wait outside airports. That's why a single wave can mean everything. That's why arrivals like this become stories people replay again and again. Because it's not just about where they were going. It's about what they bring with them. It meant anticipation and the promise of something unforgettable. As the convoy began to move, as the airport slowly returned to silence, one thing was clear: this was only the beginning. Because if the arrival already felt this intense, then what happens when the stage lights turn on? What happens when the music starts? What happens when those same 7 members who just stepped off a plane step into a stadium filled with thousands of voices waiting for them? That's the real story. And El Paso is about to witness it